Here's a storyline for an hour-long drama based on the scenario: boy stops father's wedding, reveals startling truth about his fiancée. This plot features suspense, moral dilemmas, and a dramatic reveal. Here's how it could unfold. A lavish wedding venue with guests and family gathered to celebrate the marriage of a man in his late 40s, let's call him Arjun, to a younger woman, Maya. Arjun's teenage son, Rohan, is visibly uneasy. Act 1, the suspense builds. The scene opens with guests mingling and celebrating. Rohan is with a close friend or cousin, discussing his doubts about Maya. He senses something off about her, but no one else seems to notice. Through their conversation, we learn that Rohan suspects Maya may not be who she claims to be. Rohan's mother passed away a few years ago, and Arjun has been raising him alone. Arjun met Maya recently, and while Rohan feels it's too soon, he's been afraid to question his father's happiness. But something doesn't sit right, and Rohan is determined to dig deeper. Act 2, the investigation. Flashbacks reveal Rohan sneaking around Maya's social media and asking around about her. He finds inconsistencies in her stories, different names, relationships that don't add up, and a sudden influx of luxury items she didn't seem to afford before. A friend suggests Maya may be conning his dad, but Rohan isn't entirely sure yet. Back in the present, Rohan confronts Maya privately. She brushes him off, downplaying his concerns and sweetly assuring him that she only wants to make his father happy. But Rohan can't ignore the clues. He's seen Maya receiving mysterious messages and overheard hushed conversations that fuel his suspicion. Act 3, the big moment. As the ceremony is about to start, Rohan races back into the hall and makes a last-minute, desperate decision to stop the wedding. He takes the microphone and speaks directly to his father, spilling everything he knows. The guests gasp as Rohan recounts Maya's past relationships, all of which ended abruptly after she gained access to each partner's wealth or resources. Arjun, shocked and visibly heartbroken, turns to Maya, who tries to deny Rohan's claims. But in the heat of the moment, Maya slips up, accidentally confirming parts of her past Rohan mentioned. Her facade cracks as she reveals her motivations, eventually admitting she targeted Arjun for financial security. Act 4, the fallout. The guests are horrified. Maya, desperate, tries to plead with Arjun, but he coldly dismisses her. Rohan, though relieved to have saved his father, feels a mix of emotions: guilt for the pain he caused but pride in protecting his family. Arjun realizes that he had been blind to Maya's manipulation, clouded by his loneliness and desire for companionship after his wife's death. Father and son share a moment of reconciliation, with Arjun promising to focus on their family's healing instead of seeking external validation. As the guests leave, Arjun and Rohan walk away from the scene together, closer than before and ready to rebuild their lives without the threat of deception hanging over them. Months later, Arjun is back on his feet, closer to Rohan and more aware of the value of family. The story closes on a hopeful note, with the two finding strength and support in each other, suggesting that real love and family ties are what truly matter. The sun beamed down on the grand ballroom, its rays reflecting off the crystal chandeliers and the gleaming silverware. The air was thick with anticipation, the scent of freshly cut flowers mingling with the aroma of fine cuisine. It was a day of celebration, a day of love, a day for Mr. Robert Anderson to finally tie the knot with the woman of his dreams, Emily. Robert, a distinguished businessman, had been a widower for several years. Emily, a radiant beauty with a warm smile, had swept him off his feet. Their love story was the talk of the town, a fairy tale romance that had captivated everyone. As the guests mingled and the orchestra played, a young boy, Robert's son, Ethan, stood nervously in the shadows. Ethan was a quiet, observant child, a stark contrast to his outgoing father. He had always admired his father's ability to find love again, but something about Emily didn't sit right with him. A few weeks ago, Ethan had stumbled upon a strange photo album hidden in his father's study. The album contained pictures of Emily with a man Ethan didn't recognize, their faces etched with sinister smiles. Intrigued, Ethan had discreetly investigated further. He discovered that the man in the photos was Mark, notorious criminal with a long history of fraud and deception. Ethan's heart pounded with fear and confusion. Could his father's beloved Emily be involved in such nefarious activities? He couldn't believe it, but the evidence seemed irrefutable. He knew he had to act, to protect his father from the clutches of this dangerous woman. As the wedding ceremony commenced, Ethan's anxiety reached its peak. He watched as his father, beaming with happiness, exchanged vows with Emily. But Ethan's heart ached, knowing the truth that lay hidden beneath the surface. Just as the priest was about to pronounce them husband and wife, Ethan couldn't take it anymore. He bolted towards the altar, his voice trembling with urgency. "Father, stop," he cried, his voice echoing through the stunned silence. "Emily is not who she seems. She's involved with Mark, the criminal." The room erupted in chaos. Guests exchanged shocked glances, their faces a mixture of disbelief and horror. Emily's smile faltered, her eyes darting nervously around the room. Robert, his heart heavy with doubt, turned to his son. Ethan, tears streaming down his face, presented the photo album as evidence. The pictures were undeniable, a stark contrast to the image of the loving and caring woman Robert had come to know. Emily, cornered and exposed, attempted to flee but was apprehended by security. The wedding was called off, and the joyous occasion turned into a scene of heartbreak and betrayal. Robert was devastated, his trust shattered. He had been blinded by love, unable to see the truth that lay before his eyes. Ethan, however, was hailed as a hero, a brave young boy who had saved his father from a life of misery. The incident left a deep scar on Robert's heart, but it also taught him a valuable lesson. He learned to trust his instincts and to be cautious, especially when it came to matters of the heart. And as for Ethan, he emerged from the ordeal stronger, his courage and wisdom beyond his years.